You wake up puffy. Your stomach is tight, a hard little drum stretched under your skin. Your pants don't fit right. You didn't even eat breakfast yet. This isn't about a big meal. This is about your body betraying you overnight, turning your own gut into a hostile territory you have to negotiate with every single morning. You feel like you're carrying a secret, uncomfortable weight you can't explain. That's the fear. The quiet dread that this is just what getting older feels like. It's not. That feeling, that morning inflation, is a signal, a very specific, very loud signal you've been misreading. You think it's about fiber. You think it's about aging. You think it's harmless. Those are the lies that keep you uncomfortable. The truth is simpler and far more actionable. That bloat is a report card. It's your body telling you exactly what went wrong while you were sleeping. And by the end of this, you'll know how to read that report, change the grade, and walk out of your bedroom with a flat, quiet stomach. The cause isn't random. It's a process, a literal physical manufacturing process happening in your dark, warm gut. You're fermenting. You're a brewery. And you opened for business last night at dinner. So you're a brewery. Fine. Let's shut down production. First shift starts the moment you open your eyes. You reach for a glass of water. That's your first mistake. Plain water first thing in the morning is a dilution. It's like pouring a bucket into a weak acid solution. Your stomach acid is already lower than it was 20 years ago. You need it strong to handle breakfast. So you dilute it. Now your food sits in a lukewarm, ineffective bath. It ferments. The fix is not to avoid water. The fix is to drink the right water at the right time for the right reason. 30 minutes before anything else. Not coffee. Not food. 30 minutes. Warm water, not cold. Cold shocks the system, seizes it up. Warm water is a signal, a gentle push. Add a pinch of good sea salt, a squeeze of lemon. That's not for flavor. That's an electrolyte spark. It pulls fluid into your intestines. It wakes up the migrating motor complex. That's the overnight street sweeper for your gut. You're giving it the fluid it needs to do its job and flush the debris from last night's shift. You're not hydrating your mouth. You're priming a pump. Do this. Wait. Then eat. That's your first key. Now breakfast. You've been lied to. The biggest landmine in your morning is something you think is healthy. That fiber-rich smoothie. That bowl of oatmeal piled high with apple and mango. You're delivering a massive, sudden dump of fermentable fuel to a bacterial population that just spent the night partying. You're throwing gasoline on embers. Those high FODMAP fruits, those trendy fibers like inulin and chicory root in your gut health powder, they're rocket fuel for the wrong microbes. Your gut isn't awake enough to handle that onslaught, so it gets overwhelmed. The bacteria feast, you inflate. The very foods marketed to save your gut are the ones blowing it up. Your first meal should be simple, boring even. Protein and fat, eggs, plain Greek yogurt. Something that doesn't need a bacterial rave to break down. Save the fiber for later. Let your digestive system wake up first. You're not a garbage disposal. You're a precision engine. Feed it like one. Now let's talk about the night shift, because that morning bloat was manufactured while you were asleep. You feel it at 7 a.m., but the factory started humming at 9 p.m., overnight fermentation. That's the core process. You ate a late dinner, something with broccoli, cauliflower, onions, garlic, maybe beans, complex carbs. Your stomach, with its declining acid, struggled to break it down completely. That partially digested sludge passes into your small intestine. And there, bacteria that shouldn't be there in such numbers are waiting. They're not evil. They're just in the wrong place. They ferment those leftovers all night long. They produce gas. You wake up with that gas trapped inside you. That's the puffiness. That's the tight drum. Your dinner became a science project. The timing is everything. Finish eating at least 3, preferably 4 hours before you lie down. Give your body a fighting chance to digest before the overnight shift begins. Think of it as closing the kitchen. No late night snacks. No giant meals right before bed. You're not feeding yourself. You're feeding the fermentation. Let's get to the root. Why is this happening now? After 50, things change. Your stomach acid declines significantly. Up to a third of people over 65 have atrophic gastritis. That's a fancy term for a simple problem. Your acid-producing cells are retiring. Low stomach acid, not high. This is critical. You feel bloated after a modest piece of chicken because it's sitting there, undigested, for too long. It's a sitting duck for bacteria. You can compensate. Chew. Seriously, chew your food into a paste. You have to start the mechanical breakdown your stomach acid can't finish. Before a protein-heavy meal, consider a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and water. It's a mild acid boost. It tells your stomach, get to work. This is biology, not mysticism. Finally, check your cabinet, your medicine cabinet, the proton pump inhibitor you take for heartburn. It reduces stomach acid. It can directly cause the low acid bloating we just talked about. That fiber supplement, the psyllium husk. Without enough water, taken at the wrong time, it can turn into a gluey, fermentable mass. Your medication for one problem can be the architect of another. Always, always talk to your doctor about bloating as a side effect. A timing change, a dosage adjustment might be all it takes. Don't suffer in silence because you think it's the price of the pill. It usually isn't. So here's the protocol. The 4-step reset to shut down the overnight brewery. 1. The first sip. 30 minutes before anything else. Warm water, sea salt, lemon. Prime the pump. 2. The first meal. Keep it simple. Protein and fat. Save the fiber fireworks for later. 3. The last meal. Finish at least 3 hours before bed. No exceptions. You're closing the kitchen, not feeding the night shift. 4. Chew. Actually chew your food. You're compensating for biology with basic mechanics. That's it. That's the system. That tight, puffy feeling you wake up with, that's not a mystery anymore. It's a message. It's the report card on last night's digestion. And now you know how to change the grade. You have direct control over the fermentation process. You decide what goes in and when. You decide when the factory closes. This isn't about fighting your body. It's about listening to it. That bloat was it shouting. Now you speak its language. Quietly. If you want to support this process, especially that stomach acid decline, a good digestive enzyme taken with your main meal can be that extra edge. I've linked the one I find most effective in the description below. But the protocol comes first. The habits are the foundation. Everything else is just support. You started this feeling betrayed by your own gut. You end it knowing it was just talking to you. You just didn't know how to listen. Now you do. The morning puffiness is no longer a curse. It's a choice. And you just learned how to make a different one.